Welcome, everyone. So today I'm sharing the essential email marketing strategy for your online yoga biz growth. So whether you're here today because you haven't started your email list yet, okay, or you've got one that feels like a digital ghost town, you're in the right place today because most yoga teachers have been told that they should create a freebie and build their list. Yeah, create a freebie, build your list. But what no one is actually telling you is, how to create a freebie that is actually going to work. Like that's the key thing. So what tends to happen is that you know that you have to build a freebie, so you whip up a quick PDF, right? Maybe it's 5 poses for stress relief or beginner's guide to yoga, and you have lots of nice fancy images in there of poses, and then you post the link and maybe a few people sign up, but nothing really comes from it. Okay, no new students, no paying students, no momentum. So the reality is that if your freebie isn't converting, it's not that you're doing it wrong, it's that you haven't been shown the strategy behind a high converting opt-in, right? Because it's not just about giving something away for free. Yeah, it's about giving away something that solves a specific problem that your ideal student, that your dream student knows that they have, right? It's about building trust and positioning you as that go-to teacher. And it's also about leading them directly into some kind of paid offering. Okay. And right now, you might not have a paid offering. Okay. But you could certainly offer a one-to-one, right? That's an easy one to whip up, isn't it? Right? You could certainly have that to actually sell to them. Or maybe you start offering a monthly workshop. You could easily whip that one up, right? Especially if you're doing it online, you can easily do that. So it can lead to something. And so that's what I'm going to break down today. Okay. This is really the foundation of your email marketing strategy. And once it's in place, everything from launching your course to filling your membership is going to become so much easier. So, first of all, we're going to just talk about why most freebies don't convert and where most yoga teachers go wrong with their freebie, and why it's not enough to just have one. Okay. So I've worked with thousands of yoga teachers over the years, and I can tell you, how many times I've seen this. And it's, or I can't tell you how many times I've seen this. It's teachers have created a freebie because they've been told that they should, or they've read a blog post that says create a freebie, but they didn't really know why, right? Or they haven't created one at all because they're overthinking it and they're unsure what's actually going to work. And then for those who do have a freebie, more often than not, they'll say to me, I've made this PDF, I've put it on my website, but hardly anyone signs up. And when they do, they don't stick around, they're not buying. Here's what's usually happening. The freebie is too broad, okay, or it is too general, okay? So think 5 tips for stress, okay? It's too broad, too general. That might sound helpful, but it's not specific enough, is it, to speak directly to a specific type of a specific type of person with a specific type of problem. Yeah, the problem that your ideal client is actively trying to solve. They know they have this problem and they're looking for a way to solve it, right? And so, one of my students, she had a freebie that was 5-minute yoga flow for busy women. Okay, it sounds good, right? But she was launching a 6-week course for women in perimenopause. So the freebie was completely disconnected from the offer. So it wasn't setting her up to attract the right audience. It wasn't qualifying them. Okay, it wasn't qualifying them as ideal students for her course. Okay, because the two topics weren't matching up. So that's one of the biggest problems I see, is that your freebie is this random piece of content that's floating in isolation. Yeah, no real link to your paid offering. And if there's no strategy behind it, like if it's not intentionally created to actually pre-frame the next step that you want someone to take, it's just not going to convert, is it? Okay, so that's a big one. The other issue is that many freebies aren't designed with the user, the student, the potential paying student, right, with their experience in mind. So think about it, like, people are busy. We're busy, aren't we? We're overwhelmed and busy. And so if someone downloads something and it's long and overwhelming and it doesn't offer a quick win, they're gone. Right. So this is a big mistake, actually. A lot of the time I hear in my community, oh, I'm going to create this 50-page ebook. It's going to be the most amazing thing ever. People don't have time to read a 50-page ebook, right? From a freebie, from a free piece of content where they've just downloaded, they've just connected with you, maybe for the first time. They just want to see who you are, right? They just want to engage with your stuff and see if you can help them in a quick way, if you can give them a quick win. Okay, so it doesn't matter like how good this content is, how good that ebook is. If it's not digestible, if it's not results driven, it's not going to build trust. It's not going to build that trust that you need to actually move someone closer to a sale, right? And so that's one piece that I really want you to take away here. Like, your freebie is not just a lead magnet. It's actually the start of your sales journey. Okay, it's the moment where someone goes from like not knowing you at all to saying, oh, this person gets me, like, I want to learn more from this person. And so when it's done strategically, your freebie is not only going to help you to grow your email list, it's actually going to bring in the right people. It's going to qualify those people, yeah, ready for your paid offers, because it's all working in alignment. Okay, so the people who are ready and who, are willing and they're excited to keep learning from you, right? They're the people that we want on our email list. And so let's kind of just get into then, how do we create something that is high converting? Yeah. How do we create something, and what does that look like? Something that's strategically designed. A strategically designed freebie, what does that actually look like? And so, when you understand this, when you understand this piece, you will never look at, just giving away a freebie the same way again, because a high converting freebie, something that you can share day after day, and you know that you actually get signups every time you share it, the kind of freebie, the kind of piece of content that actually grows your list and leads to sales. It isn't about, having some fancy design or clever titles. It's actually about strategy. And so I really want you to think about your freebie as the first step on the journey that leads someone into your world, okay? That brings someone into your teachings and eventually into your paid offering, right? So when it's done right, your freebie is doing the heavy lifting for you. Yeah, it's bringing people into your funnel, isn't it? At the top. And it's really qualifying people as ideal students for your paid offerings. It's helping to build trust. Yeah, because you're showing, hey, I can give you a quick win. Yeah, I understand you. I know what problems you're having right now. I get you. I'm speaking to you with the right messaging that makes you think, oh, I need this. And then makes you see, wow, if the freebie is this good, the paid offering must be amazing. Okay. So, just going back to mistakes, sometimes you hold back from creating an epic freebie because you don't want to give away all your stuff, right? You don't want to give away the thing that you're going to put in the course, right? We need to give a taster of how transformational your work is. Of course, you don't need to give away everything, but you need to show people that you really can help them and that you know your stuff and you're an expert in this. Okay. You're steps ahead of them. Not the world's best expert, but you're steps ahead of them. You've been there. You've been on that journey. So we're pre-framing the transformation that you're here to offer. Okay. So I'm going to talk you through 5 key elements to make that happen, for you to create a high converting opt-in freebie. So the first thing, it solves a specific relevant problem. Okay. The best freebies don't try to teach everything. We're not teaching everything you know here. The best freebies solve one clear problem that your ideal student is already struggling with. Okay, so your freebie needs to speak directly to a moment that your ideal student is living through right now. Yeah, when it does that, it becomes irresistible because it's the thing that they're going through right now. So just ask yourself, like, what specific challenge is my dream student navigating right now? Okay, this is where understanding the problem, understanding the symptoms is really important. The problem isn't stress. The problem isn't stress. You have to get underneath that. You have to speak to the scenarios that that person is having, that that person is experiencing in their life. Yeah, what are the specific things going on that are challenges that they're navigating day in, day out, that you could create something to help with them, with that. Yeah, to help them. Number two is that it naturally leads into your paid offering. Okay, so this is where most yoga teachers disconnect the dots. Okay, they create a freebie that their audience might like, but it has nothing to do with what they're actually selling. So it breaks the journey. Okay, so you might be starting from zero, right? You might be hearing this today and you're like, well, I don't even know, right? I haven't fully explored my niche yet. I don't fully know my messaging. And I will always say to that, go with your passions, right? Go with your journey, go with your story. What are the problems that you've experienced and over counted? Like, what are the things that you've been through, navigated, and got results through at the end, using yoga and the modalities that you know and love, right? Start there. That's always the best place to start because you have to start building a community, right? And we can't build community with a general message. So the best place to start is always your own story, right? Your own experience. Create a freebie around that. Start sharing, start showing up. And I promise you, trust me, with time and with consistency, your message will evolve, your niche will evolve, and it will click. But you'll never get there if you don't just start. Okay, so start with what you're passionate about. So your freebie should pre-frame your offer. Okay, it should introduce a small piece of the bigger transformation, okay, that you guide people through, or that you will guide people through eventually inside your online course. Okay, so for example, like if your paid offering is going to be a 3-month course on regulating the nervous system for PTSD survivors, right, through breath and through somatics. Your freebie could be, the PTSD nervous system reset. Yeah, 3 breathing techniques for daily calm. So now what we're doing is we're building awareness around the problem, okay? And we're giving them a taste of your method. Yeah, this is how you turn the interest in your content into actual intent. Okay. So number 3 is that it offers a quick win. Okay, people are busy, aren't they? Yeah, they don't want to download the 96-page ebook or commit to, a 2-hour video, right? A high converting freebie delivers value quickly. Okay, something that your audience can consume in under 10 or 15 minutes, get a result from. Maybe you deliver your content over a number of days. I love that as a freebie. I think it's a great thing to create some kind of little bundle, a little toolbox, a little help kit that they get over a few days where you can share something short and sweet each day that brings them to a quick win at the end. So maybe there's a short practice video, maybe there's a checklist or, a journal prompts or perhaps a meditation. Yeah, or some kind of ritual that they can do. Yeah, 1-page toolkit. Okay, get creative with it. Give your bundle, give your toolkit a fancy name. And what matters is that they use it, right? And that they feel better for it. That small result where they can do something each day and they can fit it into their day. Because remember, a lot of people have an objection around time. Oh, I can't fit this in. Yeah, so just start to show to them, hey, you can actually, and here's how. here's this small little practice that you can just fit into your day at the beginning of your day or at the end of your day, whenever it matters, like whenever you want. But what matters is that they do use it, okay? Because that small result is going to create the trust. That small result is going to create momentum. It's going to create, a sense of, if I've got this for free, imagine what's inside her paid course. Yeah, we always want to be thinking about that. So, perhaps it's, a perimenopause yoga toolkit. Okay. One of my shoes has recently created that. It's got the 5-minute breath work in it. It's got a few pose suggestions. It's got, a little guide around hormonal health. Okay. And it's simple. It's beautiful. It's powerful. Okay, that's actually gone on to become her #1 lead generator for her hormonal balance course. Okay, so these things lead into the paid offering. Number 4 is that it's positioned with a magnetic title, right? It's using benefit-driven language. Yeah, so this part gets overlooked a lot. I've seen so many bland and vague titles, and you can have the best freebie, like the content could be amazing, but if it's wrapped up in a kind of boring title that's like free yoga PDF, no one's going to click on that, are they? Your title should tell them exactly what they're going to get, why it matters. Okay, so there's a quick little formula here, and it's result in time frame without common struggle. Okay, so for example, more calm, that's the result, in 5 minutes a day without needing to meditate for an hour. Okay, result in time frame without the common struggle. Yeah, or 3 rituals to reclaim your energy after work in less time than it takes to scroll Instagram. Okay, it's a bit cheeky, but it's specific, and it speaks to many kind of the scenario that many people are having every day, right? So get like that, get specific, talk to their world, talk to their life, talk to what's happening in their space and in their day. And this is copywriting that's, about connection, isn't it? It's not necessarily about being clever. It's about being clear and actually connecting to people, connecting to their experience, right? Their lived experience. Number 5 is that it's connected to a simple email funnel. Okay, and this is big. Like your freebie, it doesn't exist in isolation. So when someone downloads it, what happens next? Okay, and this is where a lot of you may be getting stuck. You need a basic nurture sequence that continues the journey. Okay, so you need to welcome them, you need to deliver the freebie, you need to share who you are, what you offer, and you need to invite them to the next step. Okay, whether that's in your membership or, join my waitlist for an upcoming course. Your freebie is the start of that funnel, right? It's not the end, it's the start. So what we don't want to do is have a freebie, they get an email that delivers the freebie, and oh my goodness, they don't hear from you again. You're not doing your nurture emails, your weekly nurture emails. Well, let me rewind. They're not getting a welcome email sequence, first of all, right? They're not getting those emails where you say who you are, right? Where you share who you are and you share your story and you share what you do. Then they're not getting the nurture emails where you show up in their inbox every single week. And then there's no sales emails, right? There's nothing going into what you're selling. Instead, they hear from you a month later because you're scared to send them an email. Yeah, even though they've actively given you their email address. They've said, hey, I want to hear from you. I want your stuff. I'm interested in this. I want your stuff. And so what happens? You send an email a month later, they've forgotten who you are. Maybe you were even like running ads to get them on your email list in the first place. You spent money and now they've forgotten who you are. Unsubscribe, right? That is doing you a disservice, and it's definitely doing them a disservice. That is not selling. That is not serving, right? It's not serving, is it? So don't do that. Definitely don't do that. We need to be intentional with what we're sharing. Okay. We need to make sure that we use this opportunity. Like, this is the most valuable space on the internet, is in someone's inbox. way more valuable than the Instagram feed. Way more valuable. You know, on an Instagram feed, we're just seeing everyone we follow, maybe people we don't follow, but with an email, the emails in our inbox, we have actively opted in for that. You know, we want to see that in our inbox. Okay. So make sure you show up, because that freebie that you create is the start of the funnel, isn't it? It's not the end. So when it's done with intention, this simple little opt-in actually becomes the engine, right? That quietly builds your business in the background day after day. Do you understand how important it is? How important our email strategy is? Let's just recap, okay? So a high converting opt-in freebie solves a specific problem, leads naturally to your offering, your paid offering. You can definitely have a paid offering even if you're starting from scratch. Delivers a quick win, has a clear benefit-driven title, and connects into your nurture funnel, right? Those sequences that I mentioned. When all of these 5 elements are in place, that's when you start to see results, right? That's when you start to see your list grow. That's when you start to see engagement, sales. The best part is that once you've created it, the strategy does the work for you. Okay. Of course, there's more that goes into it, but this is where we start, right? There's definitely more that goes into it. And as you learn and as you grow on your business journey, you will see that. You will see the types of funnels that you can create. Okay. So super, super important to really get these basics in place. Yeah. And, you know, to make sure that you are creating something that isn't just that PDF, that isn't just a morning yoga flow. People don't sign up for that. You know, in the past, people would sign up for just a newsletter, you know, get on my newsletter for tips and tricks. That moved out of the way. And then it was, okay, get my yoga class, my free yoga class. Okay, we're past that now. Like it's elevated. We have to layer our freebies, right? It's important that we layer the freebies. You know, if you're going to share a class or a practice, what else is being shared with that? And even better if you could share it over a few days to not overwhelm someone with the bundle on the first day. Okay, does that make sense? So we're really being strategic about this. The great thing about sending it over a few days as well is that you train someone to open your emails over a few days, right? You start to create behavior that when they see your name in the inbox, they want to open it because they know that they've got day 2 of the bundle or day 3 of the bundle. Okay, so we know that our freebie now is not just a cute piece of content, right? It's not just like a tick box marketing task. It is the start of this student journey. It's how we attract the right people. Okay, it's how we build trust before we sell anything. So make sure that your freebie, when you're creating it, is really covering those 5 key elements that I've outlined for you today. And if you don't have a freebie yet, I want you to start brainstorming, okay, from a place of clarity. Who is this for? Who is it for? What's the urgent problem that they're navigating? What's the challenge that they're dealing with right now? And what's the first step that I can guide them through to move closer to the solution? Right? Your solution is the course, remember? Your solution is the paid offering. What is the first step? What is the first hurdle that they have to go through, that they have to move through to get them closer to the solution? Yeah, that's a key thing. Write that one down. It's the first step they need to take. In every journey that we go through, we take a number of steps, don't we, to get there, right? What's the first step that we can get them through? And you can get support with this and creating your first freebie inside Yogipreneur. Okay, this is the membership for new online yoga teachers who are starting from scratch. And if that's you and you need these foundational marketing strategies to grow your community from zero, Yogipreneur has the curriculum, the community, and the mentorship that you need to get started. And if you're ready to level up your freebie, right? If you've already got a freebie and you want to start building out the systems that come after the freebie, like your nurture emails and your launch funnel, and you want to create high value freebies that qualify your community ready for your online course, then the Profitable Yoga Teacher is for you. Okay, you learn how to create and launch an online yoga course that sells. I want to remind you that you don't need a massive list to make sales. You just need a strategic system. It's all about the system, guys. Trust me, it really is all about the systems that you have in place. It doesn't matter. You don't need to have 2,000 people on your email list. You just need to make sure that you bring the right people in and you build up those relationships. And it's your marketing ecosystem here, right? Email is one part of it. You need to be showing up on Instagram, right? This isn't Instagram versus email. You need to be showing up in these places and being visible and building trust, building connection with people. And when you have systems that allow you to do that with ease, then we start building up a community who are really connecting and engaging with our content and want to come into our paid offerings because they're ready, right? Our content has been doing the work for us. Our emails have been doing the work for us. Okay. Beautiful. So thank you for joining me today. I can't wait to see what you guys create. And more importantly, who you start calling in with the right message and the right strategy behind it. Okay. Beautiful. Thank you for listening, everyone.